This is Nightline and I'm Zahir, Kelvin, Abdullah. The top stories. Prime Minister stresses institutional reform as key to sustaining national growth. And Secretary of Gaza-linked NGO remanded for allegedly misappropriating 4.2 million ringgit in funds. The nation's continued growth and progress are only assured if institutional reforms are implemented consistently without compromising on integrity. Emphasizing this point, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said economic prosperity alone is meaningless if it does not lead to better living standards for Malaysians. Speaking at the Malaysia Economic Forum 2026 in the capital on Thursday, Anwar pointed out that the country's progress did not happen by chance.
That trust is being rebuilt because of this Badminton government has taken a clear, principled and uncompromising stand on governance. There will be no tolerance for corruption. And no exceptions for the well-connected.
He added that the strengthening of the ringgit also sends a clear signal of renewed investor confidence. Although external factors play a role, the ringgit's appreciation reflects trust in the country's institutions and the direction of government policy. He expressed confidence that Malaysia will continue on a path of positive, resilient growth governed with full integrity. In his keynote speech, the Prime Minister also emphasized that good governance is a prerequisite for strengthening investor confidence in Malaysia.
That is precisely why institutional reform continues without pause and without apology. We are strengthening institutions so that integrity does not depend on personalities, but on systems.
Meanwhile, Malaysia's economic growth for 2025 is estimated at 4.9%, higher than earlier projections of 4 to 4.8%. According to Bank Negara Malaysia, this is the result of smooth execution across all key economic drivers, including investment, the labour force and government policy.
We have strong fundamentals. Habib Minister mentioned about the diversified economy, diversified export market. We've got a strong banking sector to support intermediation, and we've got strong external sector as well. So this will continue to support us as well.
The central bank noted that the country's exports continue to rise and demand remains strong despite facing tariffs and uncertain geopolitical conditions. The second round of the Sumbangan Asas Rahmah or SARA for All program, which provides a one-off 100 ringgit assistance credited through MyCard, will begin disbursement on Monday. Speaking in the Dewan Rakyat on Thursday, Second Finance Minister Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah Azizan said Malaysians can now check their eligibility via the sara.gov.my portal.
Pada 9 Februari 2026 ini, SARA untuk semua iaitu bantuan one-off RM100 melalui kad akan bermula. Peruntukan RM2.2 bilion disediakan untuk memanfaatkan semua warga negara Malaysia yang berumur 18 tahun ke atas. Tiada permohonan diperlukan.
According to Amir, the initiative is valid for use until December 31st this year. He added that the government is also reviewing a proposal to include fresh produce as a new category under the SARA program. Amir also revealed that the number of SARA partner merchants has increased to 10,700 outlets nationwide, up from 700 in 2024. Of this total, 3,000 are small traders. The SARA network is expected to be further expanded with a target of 10,000 small grocery shops this year. In addition, 150 million ringgit in unclaimed funds from last year's SARA for All program will be channeled to those in need. This includes assistance for victims of domestic violence, students with disabilities and special needs, the purchase of medical devices for underprivileged patients, and the creation of student food banks. There is no need for debate on local council elections or mayoral appointments in Parliament at this stage. Communications Minister Dato' Fahmi Fadzil said this is because the government is still reviewing the matter. According to Fahmi, a study on the topic is being prepared by the International Islamic University Malaysia and has yet to be submitted to the Cabinet.
Tidak ada apa-apa untuk dibentangkan pada waktu ini. Kerana apa yang Berhormat Hanayo sebut adalah satu kajian yang disediakan oleh pihak UIA. Kajian itu pun belum dibawa ke Kabinet belum membincangkan. Jadi belum ada apa-apa, dia pramatang.
He said this in response to calls from the opposition urging the government to present and debate on the recommendations on local council elections in Parliament. Fahmi, who is also the Unity Government spokesman, said the government is open to any proposals and will not restrict the opposition from raising the matter through official parliamentary channels. The issue came under the spotlight after Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Federal Territories, Hannah Yeoh, announced on February 2nd that a feasibility study would be conducted to assess whether Kuala Lumpur should elect its mayor directly. A secretary of a non-governmental organization has been remanded to assist in an investigation into alleged abuse of power involving the misappropriation of more than 4.2 million ringgit. The probe focuses on the alleged mismanagement of public funds as the NGO had received public donations for humanitarian missions in Gaza. The suspect was issued a 3-day remand until this Saturday by the Putrajaya Magistrates Court on Thursday. The order was granted by Magistrate Ezrin Zakaria following an application by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission. According to a source, the suspect, in his 40s, was arrested at 6 p.m. on Wednesday when he turned up at the MACC headquarters in Putrajaya to give his statement. Initial investigations revealed that the individual, who also owns a food supply company, is believed to have committed the offence between 2022 and 2024. The suspect is alleged to have authorised the transfer of 4.2 million ringgit from the NGO's funds into accounts of 2 other companies for investment purposes. The Graft Busters Anti-Money Laundering Division Director, Dato' Nur Haizam Mohammed, confirmed the arrest and said the case is being investigated under Section 23 of the MACC Act. Elsewhere in Kota, a well-known independent preacher is among 2 individuals remanded in connection with the alleged abuse of power involving the approval of 600,000 ringgit as payment in return for raising funds for an education and preaching centre without the consent of other partners. The remand order until Friday was issued by the Sungai Pattani Magistrates Court. Both suspects in their 30s were detained on Wednesday when they appeared at the MECC Sungai Pattani branch to give their statements. The suspects, who are the managing director of a company and the head of its finance and accounts department, are alleged to have colluded in the wrongdoing in September 2018. The investigation has been ongoing by the MECC since last October. The Health Ministry, or MOH, has confirmed a tuberculosis cluster in Kota Tinggi, Johor. As of Wednesday, 33 positive cases have been identified following screenings of 804 close contacts. In a statement, MOH said all those who tested positive are receiving treatment and under close monitoring at nearby health facilities. Although 1 death was reported from the cluster, the Johor State Health Department clarified that it was not caused by tuberculosis. The department also urged residents of Kota Tinggi and neighbouring areas to visit a health facility if they experience any symptoms or have had close contact with a confirmed patient. Tuberculosis is an infectious disease that spreads through the air to those in close contact. It can be prevented and fully cured through effective treatment with a minimum treatment period of 6 months. The fatal accident on the North-South Expressway near Hulu Selangor early Thursday morning, which claimed 1 life and injured 8 others, occurred when an express bus crashed into the rear of a trailer. The 5 a.m. incident also caused the trailer to veer into the right lane before being hit by a lorry. Police said the express bus was transporting 22 passengers from Alustar, Kedah to the federal capital when the accident occurred. The 37-year-old lorry driver was pinned inside his vehicle and pronounced dead at the scene. Those injured included the drivers of the bus and trailer, the 39-year-old lorry attendant, and 5 bus passengers. They were taken to Sungai Buloh Hospital for treatment, while the body of the deceased was handed over to the police for further action. The government has assured that the people's welfare will remain a priority if faced with rising global prices for fuel sources such as coal and gas. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadillah Yusof noted that this effort must be implemented in a balanced manner to address the energy trilemma, which includes energy security, cost affordability and environmental sustainability.
So bagaimana kita nak pastikan walaupun kenaikan, bagaimana kita nak ada buffer supaya golongan-golongan yang memerlukan tidak akan masih mampu untuk mendapat bekalan. So kita kena find mechanism lah. So we have to tengok the keseluruhan nanti, but to make sure that the trilemma it must be balanced.
Fadillah added that the National Energy Policy and the National Energy Transition Roadmap are already in place as key guiding frameworks. However, the focus now is on effective execution to ensure that all energy development targets and sustainable economic growth objectives are achieved.
How have recent foreign capital flows turned supportive for Malaysia? What do these movements reveal about investor behavior and market sentiment? How are these trends influencing Malaysia's financial markets? Azaria Tagaya speaks with RAM Ratings Head of Economic Research, Woon Kai-jack, only on Money Matters this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Malaysian workers outperformed their counterparts in neighbouring countries in terms of productivity in 2024. However, Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani said there is still room for improvement to better compete with high-income Asian economies. In a written parliamentary reply on Thursday, Johari said data from the Global Competitors Ranking indicates Malaysia's worker productivity is at about 305,000 ringgit. The figure is higher than Thailand and Indonesia, but lags behind South Korea and Singapore, underscoring the need for structural reforms to raise the value of jobs in the country. In an effort to accelerate the shift towards higher productivity levels, the government has introduced several strategic interventions, including the implementation of the 13 Malaysia Plan. $32 kilograms of ganja seized. This and more after this breather.
Macam mana Aira boleh terfikir dan Aira nak serahkan abang pada orang lain?
Aku tak nak kawan dengan kau. Sebab kau tadi... Sebab kau tadi...
Dia cakap apa ni?
Yes.
Aduh, sakit.
Sampai hati kau.
nak kawan dengan abang sebab tak ada tonton ke?
Yelah, kan RM9.90 je. Sekarang barulah boleh kahwin. Kawan-kawan.
Adik minta maaf. Adik nak cuba je.
Kau ni memalukan aku tau.
Biar orang buat apa dengan kita sekalipun, kita kena selalu doakan yang baik-baik kat diorang.
Saya akan pastikan abang balik sebelum Ramadan berakhir. Abang akan sahur, buka puasa dengan Lina.
Saya nak tahu, suami saya dekat mana sekarang?
Aku nak kau lupakan anak aku, Idham.
Slot wayang setiap Jumaat di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headline.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Welcome back. Another man believed to be linked to the Captain Prabha gang was charged at the Sepang Sessions Court on Thursday with being a member of an organized crime group. He was arrested in Bangkok, Thailand early on Wednesday before being brought back to Malaysia. The arrest was carried out under Ops Jack Sparrow with the cooperation of the Thai authorities based on an arrest warrant issued by the Sepang Sessions Court on January 14. According to Bukit Aman Criminal Investigation Department Director Dato M. Kumar, the suspect is also believed to be involved in a case in Subang Jaya in January last year. The suspect is also being investigated for possession of a firearm during a riot for which he is expected to be charged in the near future. Last Sunday, Inspector General of Police Dato Sri Muhammad Khalid Ismail said Bukit Aman was still hunting for 15 remaining members of the Captain Prabha gang. The latest arrest brings the total number of gang members brought back to Malaysia to 5. This includes 3 suspects who were previously arrested in Mumbai, India last month. They are believed to be involved in various violent crimes and armed robberies. In Perak, police smashed a drug trafficking syndicate known as Boy Lembu following the arrest of 3 individuals, including a foreign national, at Jalan Pengkalan Utama Ipoh last Tuesday. The arrest led to the seizure of 32 kilograms of compressed ganja valued at 94,000 ringgit. Authorities also uncovered the syndicate's tactic of using a lorry abandoned in Lahad for the past 4 years as a temporary storage site. Initial investigations reveal that the lorry is registered to a company based in Butterworth, Pulau Pinang. The syndicate is believed to have been active since January last year. Police are currently identifying the syndicate's network. The suspects, aged between 17 and 50, were remanded for 5 days until Sunday to assist in investigations under the Dangerous Drugs Act. In Selangor, a medical laboratory officer was charged at the Kajang Sessions Court with the attempted murder of his ex-girlfriend. The accused, 43-year-old S. Patiban, pleaded not guilty after the charges were read out before Judge Kaino Aliza Ismail on Thursday. According to the charge sheet, Patiban allegedly poured petrol over the 43-year-old victim, knowing it could cause her death at about 3:20 p.m. at a house in Banda Technology, Kajang on Friday. The accused was also charged with causing mischief by fire for allegedly using petrol to set the victim's car ablaze at the same place and time. The court allowed Patiban bail of 16,000 ringgit with 1 surety and fixed April 10th for case mention. It was previously reported that a man allegedly injured a woman and her 80-year-old mother. The suspect also set a vehicle on fire, resulting in burn injuries to the victim. In Terengganu, 8 Selangor FC supporters were fined up to over 3,000 ringgit each after pleading guilty to possessing flares without a valid license. The pleas were made in separate courts on Thursday. At the Kuala Lumpur Magistrates Court, 3 of the individuals were each handed a 3,000 ringgit fine after they admitted to committing the offence. In another proceeding, 5 others were fined between 2,800 to 3,200 ringgit each for the same offence. All 8 individuals aged between 23 and 26 could face up to 8 months in prison if they fail to pay the fines. Another suspect, 44-year-old Al-Fadli Awaluddin, claimed trial to a charge of using offensive language against a public servant. The court granted Al-Fadli bail of 1,000 ringgit and fixed March 5th for next case mention. Suspected bomb found at Pattani bus terminal. The details when Nightline returns.
Al-Quran sering mengingatkan kita untuk menjaga orang miskin, mereka yang memerlukan dan anak-anak yatim. Berapa jumlah yang diperlukan?
450,000 untuk kos pembedahan dan pendidikan anak-anak.
Terima kasih sangat atas pertolongan hari itu. Dapat bayar yuran-yuran sekolah anak-anak asnaf semua sekali.
1, 2, 3. Sini Kak, lakonan Mina. Terbaik. 135,000 dalam 48 jam.
I nak cuci duit, you ada tempat untuk I cuci duit.
Duit dana tak dapat sepenuhnya.
Saya nak membersihkan ruang amal dan derma ni daripada penipuan.
Hari pergi mana Kak? Satu Malaysia kenal kita sekarang ni. Muka kita dekat TV, dekat social media. Semua orang dah anggap kita ni penjenayah.
Dia telah tiada, namun suaranya tidak akan pernah padam. Sebuah karya yang mengangkat kebenaran yang cuba dilenyapkan, simbol kegagalan dunia dalam melindungi nyawa yang tidak berdosa. Paparan kekejaman tanpa batasan. Setiap titisan air mata adalah gema kesedaran sejagat yang menggoncang dunia. The Voice of Hind Rajab. Sebagai tanda solidariti, bersama kita teruskan perjuangan ini.
Manu adik saya ni macam mana?
Haris dia menikah dengan Rena.
Saya takkan pernah anggap awak suami saya sampai bila.
Itulah. Dulu orang suruh belajar, tak nak belajar.
Betul ke kau kena kahwin?
Aku tak nak cakap hal tu sekarang ni.
Aku nak luahkan perasaan.
Daus, aku ni.
Aku suka kau.
I tengok tadi pun you dengan Ustaz kan macam tak ada chemistry. I haven't said yes.
Di Cerita Rahmah TV3, Sabtu ini 10 malam. Dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
A time bomb was defused at the Pattani bus terminal in Thailand's Muang district on Thursday after the devices were detected in the toilet following the earlier discovery of 3 similar explosives at 2 petrol stations in the southern border province this week. District police received a report from residents in Tambon Tabulo around 7 a.m. local time of a suspicious object in the restroom at the bus station. Upon inspection, authorities discovered 2 devices in the women's toilet. An explosive ordnance disposal team spent approximately 5 hours neutralizing the devices before the public was allowed back in. No injuries were reported. Authorities believe the perpetrators behind Thursday's incident are the same group responsible for planting bombs with digital timers at 3 PTT petrol stations in the district discovered on Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. Meanwhile, Anutin Chanvirakul is widely expected to retain his position as Thailand's Prime Minister after this weekend's general election, despite recent polls indicating surging support for the Progressive Reformist People's Party. With no overall majority expected, analysts say Anutin is likely to emerge from post-election negotiations leading a new coalition. Anutin's Boom Jai Thai party placed third in the last election, but the 59-year-old Conservative became Prime Minister in September after his predecessor, Paetong Tan Shinawat, was removed by court order. He secured the post with backing from the Reformist People's Party, the largest bloc in parliament and the current polling front runner. Thailand will hold a general election on February 8th in a three-way contest of major parties to decide the leader of the Southeast Asian nation over the next 4 years. A storm dumping more than 40 centimeters of rain in just 24 hours battered the Iberian Peninsula on Wednesday, killing one person and forcing thousands from their homes. Authorities reported that a man in his 60s was killed after being swept away by floodwaters while trying to drive through an inundated area in southeastern Portugal, while the girl went missing in southern Spain's Malaga province after she was dragged away by the Tuvia River while trying to rescue her dog. Around 3,500 people had been evacuated in Andalusia, where more than 650 incidents were recorded. Leonardo is the latest in a string of storms to lash Spain and Portugal this year, examples of extreme weather events that scientists say human-driven climate change is worsening. Switching to sports football, the ASEAN Club Championship. Johor Darul Takzim JDT-FC were held to a 1-1 draw by Vietnam's Nam Dinh in their last group match at the Tien Trong Stadium on Thursday night. Nguyen Van Vie gave the hosts the lead in the 33rd minute, tapping in from close range of the JDT goalkeeper, and Doni Zubair Ore had saved Cal Caesar's penalty. The Southern Tigers responded in the second half with Bergson da Silva converting a penalty in the 87th minute to level the score. The draw moves Cisco Munoz's side to second in the group with 11 points from 5 matches, while Nam Dinh remained top of the standings on 13 points. Badminton now, the 2026 Badminton Asia Team Championships. Malaysia sealed a quarter-final berth despite suffering a narrow 2-3 defeat to Indonesia in Group D in Qingdao, China on Thursday. The national team got off to a strong start, taking a 2-0 lead through Justin Ho in the singles event and the pairing of Arif Junaidi and Yap Roy King in doubles. However, Eugene Yu was unable to secure an early win for Malaysia, losing the third match to Pradiska Sujiwo. Indonesia drew level at 2-2 after Chong Honjian and Haikal Nazri were defeated by Raymond Indra and Nicholas Haukin before sealing the victory when Kong Wei Xiang lost to Anthony Ginting. Both Malaysia and Indonesia had already confirmed their places in the quarter-finals as the two top teams in the group after Myanmar suffered 2 losses. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, here are visuals of Pokemon's first ever permanent theme park, now open as Tokyo's largest amusement park. With that, I'm Zahir, Kelvin, Abdullah. Thank you for watching and take care.